As you may know by now, Ron Paul, not really one to mince words. The straight-talking Republican presidential candidate, though, got some boos, few jeers at the CNN Tea Party debate a couple of nights ago. This happened during a heated exchange about 9/11 and what was behind the terror attacks. Take a listen.
And they want to kill us because of who we are and what we stand for. And we stand for American exceptionalism. We stand for freedom and opportunity for everybody around the world. And I am not ashamed to do that.
As long as this country follows that idea, we're going to be under a lot of danger. Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda have been explicit. They have been explicit, and they wrote and said that we attacked America because you had bases on our Holy Land in Saudi Arabia. You do not give Palestinians a fair treatment, and you have been bombing. I didn't say that. I'm trying to get you to understand what the motive was behind the bombing.
And Congressman Paul joins me now live from the Capitol. Sir, thank you for being here. So let's just start with that. Are people misinterpreting or maybe even oversimplifying what you're saying? Because some people took your response as saying the U.S. brought 9/11 on itself. Is that what you were saying?
Obviously not, because I'm an American, you're an American, I don't blame you, but I do blame bad policy, and there's quite a bit of difference. But, you know, what I'm saying is not new or strange. It's been around a long time. The CIA is actually the one that, you know, introduced the term blowback, and the 9/11 Commission acknowledged this. As a matter of fact, after 9/11, we removed that base from Saudi Arabia. So it's nothing new. But I think if you ignore the real cause and claim that we're being attacked because we're free and prosperous, we're missing the boat. As a physician, I always have to know the cause of the disease to correct it, and to ignore the cause doesn't solve our problems whatsoever. But to turn this around and say that we're exceptional and we have to do this, I think we are exceptional. I just resent and resist the temptation to force our exceptionalism on other people through force. Once you do that, you lose all your credibility as being exceptional.
But haven't Al-Qaeda, bin Laden in particular, in a letter he wrote to the United States, he did talk about the Palestinians and how there was a lack of support for them. But he also mentioned America's freedoms and what we're allowed to do. He mentioned, I mean, things like gambling and how women flaunt themselves around. He did mention some of those freedoms and wanted to impose Islam on the rest of the world. So isn't that the freedoms the United States have? Don't you acknowledge that bin Laden himself has also said, this is why we attacked you as well?
Well, there's only been a couple of individuals who have studied this. Michael Schur, who was the CIA agent that studied bin Laden more than anybody else, along with Robert Pape, who has investigated and detailed every suicide terrorist attack that he could find. And he says 98% of the suicide terrorism attacks against us, the main motivation was occupation, and religious beliefs had nothing to do with it.
But we're talking about 9/11.
Wait. But you don't see suicide terrorists coming out of Iran, and they're radical Islamists, but they do not come from Saudi Arabia, but they come from places that feel abused, and they did. I mean, 14 out of the 19 came from Saudi Arabia because of the bases there and our puppet government there. And the CIA was aware of this, know about it, and for us to just say and be in denial and say it has nothing to do with it, and that they come here because why don't they go after the countries that are freer than us? Why don't they go after Switzerland, or why don't they go after Sweden or Ireland or somebody? No, they don't attack those countries because they're free and prosperous. So it makes no sense, because we have to, in order to justify our policy in the Middle East, Islam has to be the enemy, and I think that's wrong. There are radicals in the Islamic community and the Muslim community, but that is not the sole reasons why we have this problem.